tell us how this... Oh, geez, that's bad.
Test, 1, 2, 3.
See if that comes up. The last guy must have had a big head. I saw a couple of man buns up here. It could have been something to do with it. How's that? Anything there? We can keep going if you need to. All good. How about that? Let's see how we go there. Mr. Molt. See if we're catching any of this. 1, 2. Robbie talking's probably not helping at the moment. Barrett. Put it down before I embarrass myself.
For a long time, the Big V has been the competition to develop the best talent in the country. And at the very core of that is the Vic Youth Championship. From Jock Landale, DJ Vasiljevic, Dingadal, and plenty more in between, the country's best talent has all been fostered right here in the Vic Youth Championship. And tonight, well, two teams and a number of players have the opportunity to be the next in that line of great names to come through the VYC. It's the Kilsyth Cobras, it's the Frankston Blues. The stage is set. Will it be third time's a charm for the Cobras, or can the Blues, after redeveloping this program over the last 10 years, get a championship to boot in 2025? Welcome to the Kilsyth Sports Centre. My name is Matt Hickey. I'm joined by the great Aaron Tate. Aaron, a pleasure to be with you. It's a big game. We've just caught our breath after watching an all-timer in the game previous, a double OT. And if it's anything like that, we're in for a treat.
Yeah, I say this every week. There's something about this stadium that just brings out enormous games. The atmosphere is absolutely electric, and we've only just gotten the anthem sung. People are feeling good. We've got a ton of Frankston people down here as well, including a drum kit out there. So it is going to be very loud, and we're going to do our best to keep up with the energy that this amazing stadium's going to bring.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's go through the two teams. We'll start with the home side, the Cobras. They had a fantastic regular season, 21-1. A little hiccup to start the playoffs was a bit of a surprise, but they do eventually get to the big dance.
Look, they took the long way, as did Frankston for that matter, but the qualifying final was not good for the Cobras, losing at Casey at home. I had people I didn't know coming up to me on the street saying, what happened? So it was very much of a shock, but it's something that the Cobras have really kind of bounced back from in the last couple of weeks. Obviously, last up against Knox, going over to the State Centre and getting the job done there to earn the home grand final. So certainly not something that's already written in stone, something the Cobras are really going to have to work to fight towards. Now, one of the things that will help them is they, like the Frankston Blues, have a really deep team. We'll be seeing people in the bench at 9th and 10th getting decent minutes in this one. And I really feel like it's going to be one of those benches that's going to come out and score 15, 20 points and make a difference in this game.
And it's fascinating for the Cobras. They went down in the grand final last year to Sandringham. They went down the year before to Andrew Gaze and his Melbourne team. And all of a sudden they make their third straight grand final. Do questions come up during the week? Do you talk about the years prior? Of course, these teams chop and change a little bit, but third time's a charm, perhaps, for the Cobras.
There's a lot of boys in black down there that have been there for both of those games. Are they battle-hardened and ready? Is it something that they're going to be able to bounce back from and know how to do it now? Or is it a bit shaky? It's really hard to tell. So there's nothing that'll shore that up for us, like 40 minutes of basketball.
That's it. Now, the Frankston Blues, they finished the regular season in second, so we've got the matchup that we wanted, and the teams deserve 17-5 on the year. And you mentioned that depth. They have 11 players on their roster who average 15-plus minutes per game. Duncan Berg, one of the better basketball minds here in Victoria. He's got plenty of players. He lets them run, and they're going to be right up for the challenge with a few key names leading the charge as well.
This is seeing the socials during the week. We've got 2 Coach of the Year nominations, and, I mean, you'd probably expect that with the 2 teams being at the top of the ladder. But you don't get there through not being a very wise coach. So, obviously, we're going to have a bit of a tactical shootout here as well between 2 very knowledgeable people at the helm.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Well, these 2 teams, they have met this year, but it was all the way back on April 13th, and it was a big win for the Kilsyth Cobras, 80-60 in that one. They won the rebound count. They were plus 8 points from the free throw line, and they dished out the ball well, plus 7 assists. However, a few little asterisks with that game. There was no Jackson, no Parsons, no Hastings, and no Ken Geyser for Frankston. So it's going to have a different look about it, this one.
Absolutely, and I mean, that's part of the benefit of watching this level of basketball is you've got a half a dozen guys who could... Pardon me, I'm getting distracted and heckled from the crowd already.
It started early.
It's already started. It's my own team too. You've got half a dozen guys that can feasibly go up and play at NBL 1 level, and that's exactly what Frankston had last time in this house. They had to play the shortened lineup, and they didn't come up that time, but they're at full strength. Cobras are at full strength, so look, I mean, we've had a few real close ones, including just before us here at the women's game. Totally not going to be surprised if that happens here as well.
Kilsyth Sports Centre is absolutely packed to the point where the victorious women's Kilsyth team are struggling to find a seat around the stadium, but the stage is set. 2025, another fantastic year in the Big V, another fantastic year in the Vic Youth Championship division, and it's deserving and just that 1 and 2 go head-to-head. Duncan Berg, the man leading the charge and coaching the Frankston Blues, and Zach Wershing, who's had plenty of experience winning at this level, the man in charge of the Kilsyth Cobras. As the drums start to fire up, Aaron.
Oh, we're going to be hearing that a lot tonight, I think. This Kilsyth program's really done the Zach swap this year, with Zach Mott going to coach the NBL 1 team. Zach Wershing being an assistant on that team coming down, so he brings a wealth of experience with him. And just standing on the sideline with him beforehand, just the rapport that he's got. And I'm not saying Duncan doesn't have that with the Frankston Blues. I'm sure he does. But there's just such a good energy about the man and about this team, where they really want to go out and fight for each other. And this is the ultimate chance to do that.
So here we go. Grand final. Frankston in the blue, Kilsyth in the black. And it's the Cobras who will get the first look. And already we've got an early whistle. False start, everybody. Nothing like you build up the big moment, Aaron. You've got all these stored up lines.
I know.
The crowd's going. Everyone at home's ready to go.
2 seconds in.
And we have a whistle and an early stoppage.
Do you know what it was for there?
I believe there was 3 seconds off the shot clock, but only 2 seconds off the game clock. That is pinpoint accuracy from the official. They're on point tonight.
Tell you what, we've got 10 very nervous players on the court, but I reckon there's 4 nerves on the score bench as well, because this is a big night for them too.
It certainly is. Cobras now do get the first look. Can they settle their nerves early? Stewart, what a game he played last week at the NBL 1 level. We'll talk about that as the night progresses. Shot clock winding down. Got to get something up. It flips up. It doesn't quite flip in, and a good start for the Blues on defence.
Starting in a zone there, and it just choked the Cobras' offence, so they're going to have to deal with that very early on.
Always interesting when teams throw something different straight out of the tip. Great backdoor cut, great backdoor pass, high arcing off the glass, and Jesse Lands gets us underway.
That's just pretty basketball. That's knowing when to make that back cut. It's not always a good time, but he picked it perfectly.
A little token up-court pressure from the Blues. Already throwing a number of different looks. Stewart, that's going to count, you would think. And it does. Blake Jackson trying to dunk it down the wrong end.
The ball just sits on the rim like that, and, you know, as someone who's 6 foot and overweight myself, I just know you've got to get up there and dunk that sometimes.
Isaiah Harvey, what a game he played last week. We were both in this building. He almost carried the NBL 1 men's side over the line in what was a heartbreaking finish. There's a tough take from Jackson down the other end. And he's going to be crucial as this game goes on, isn't he, Isaiah Harvey?
Isaiah Harvey is clutch, and it's someone who has had a very good record in finals for this team. Obviously, as you said, the grand final's not quite successful for the Cobras, but he certainly does his part. That's Macaulay Haig getting into the rack.
Nice up and under finish through traffic. And a hot start for both teams. Always a little bit of a surprise. Expect some nerves. Hard take, plenty of contact, refs letting him play. Stop, pop, line drive, triple on the way. Doesn't go for Maddox Parsons, and there's going to be a foul on the rebound. Kilsyth ball.
It's a shot that Maddox Parsons can take too. I mean, looking at his stats on the season, doesn't shoot it a heck of a lot from downtown, but when he does, he's at 50% on the year. So certainly a shot that they wouldn't be upset with the Frankston Blues.
50% clip, you don't mind that?
Oh, take that any day.
Dream of doing that. You can hear the drums. Good pick of the pocket. Blues quickly back the other way. Points count and a hot start there for Frankston. It was Corey Hastings.
It's just that extra pressure on the ball. Maybe that's the nerves kicking in. Just having that ball too high on the dribble. Hastings takes advantage.
Harvey, great facilitator. Found the open man, and Van der Vorm buries it.
That's one of the things Van der Vorm can do. Rebounds really well for someone who's not giant, but can shoot the ball when he's open, and that set shot is usually money.
And that one well short from Corey Hastings. And the crowd already finding their voice.
You get that one out of the way, you get the miss out, and then focus on making the next one.
Loudest people in the crowd, I think, are the NBL 1 men Kilsyth Cobras team, have got their own box and making themselves very well known to the Frankston Blues.
Starting the MVP chat in the women's game too. That's Haig for 3, just rims out. They're very active at the NBL 1 boys tonight.
Saw Lockie Geyser on the rebound. What a talent he is, and hasn't really been involved in the offense to begin, and Isaiah Harvey's got the job on him. We saw Harvey lock down Wilson in that NBL 1 game last weekend. There's a little mismatch down low, a strong take. Blake Jackson's come to play.
That's it. Isaiah Harvey is a very good defender, but when you've got an 8-inch disadvantage, you're Blake Jackson. You've got to make the most of that, and he just did.
Gets blown by there. Help defense was late, and a good finish from Trezise.
Just floated long enough to shake off the D flying past. It's tempting just to get it up as quick as possible, but he's done well to hang on to that.
Here's Ken Geyser with his first decent look of the night. Goes to the reverse, high arcing, hoop plus the harm. Get that man the basketball.
Look, you do not make a short list for an All-Star 5 if you can't be pulling moves out like that. That's huge from Ken Geyser.
Country Vic players, we see our first subs of the night. Talking about Blake Jackson, he's a name that might be familiar to a few. Cast your minds back to when Josh Giddey was playing local basketball down in Frankston.
The famous video.
The famous video. Blake Jackson was on the other team and dropped 50 in that game as he guided his team to a win. So
it was him and Jesse Lands, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, Jesse Lands had 41, so 91 points between the two of them against Josh Giddey, if you don't mind.
With due respect to the boys, I don't know if we'll be seeing that tonight.
It'd be an impressive effort. Ball pinballing around. Right idea from Harvey. Just couldn't thread the eye of the needle. Here is Jackson. Swings through. Strong move. And draws the foul. Who'll go to the line to shoot a pair.
And you've got someone, a big body like that could dribble through 3 people and still put up a shot, get it close to the rim while copping contact like that. And that's a real good luxury to have for the Blues there.
Fascinating when you go through these two teams and you look through the shooting percentages, and almost every player on both lists shoots at least 40% from the field, which is almost unheard of.
It is. I mean, top 2 teams on the ladder, so they're obviously going to have good defenses. You can get away with a mid-offense if you've got a great defense, but they can shoot the absolute heck out of the ball.
As that kid in the El Paso had said, "Pequena las dos." Why don't we have both? Great spin. Just couldn't put the finish there. It was a great effort from Vandervorm.
He's got some crafty moves to get to the basket, but just overcooked that just a touch. And we see a couple of the subs coming in for Frankston.
Nugent in for his first minutes, as is Ryan Lane. And this is what we spoke about in the pre-game, Aaron. They're going to go to their benches, and they're going to go to their benches a lot, which means we should get a high-octane game.
Oh, absolutely. There will be no let-off.
First touch for Lane in the offense, and he buries it.
The microwave straight off the bench. That is not easy to do when you've been sitting down for the last 10 minutes. That's a nice handoff. No one really wants to shoot for the Cobras at the moment eventually, and that looked a lot worse than it was, I think.
Tough foul. I think you're right, though.
A lot of ball on that. Was that Riley Nissen? So see, first appearance of the evening from Wyatt Stewart is going to check into that point guard spot and give Isaiah Harvey a chop out.
Apologies, it was Beatty on that last triple. Got some names mixed up on our sheet, but that's all right. We'll make do.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Unforgettable names they are.
In and out.
Good baseline set that gives you a shot like that, but just didn't have the little kiss on the end of the fingertips.
Brody Hull, Defensive Player of the Year finalist as well. That one in and out as well. So the hot start has just cooled a little bit for both teams. It's Frankston with an early 6-point lead. And is it going to be a foul? I believe it is.
One of those ones where you look at the ref to see if they've got a fist up or a hand. It could have been out of bounds or it could have been a bump, and they called the ladder.
Hook, block, out of bounds. One of the three. Take your pick.
A lot of contact off the ball. All people just standing there, all legal, but hard to run an offense as Hay just tries to muscle his way through. Draws the foul on Blake Jackson.
Tough call for the defender. Not a whole lot you can do when you get the shoulder through the chest, is there?
He didn't do a lot wrong, did he? I reckon Macaulay Haig was at about 45 degrees to the ground at one point in that drive.
Incredible effort to keep his balance, and the substitutions continue to flow as Jackson heads to the bench. Some really good minutes for him. 5 points early.
Corley Haig really worked his way into this team. Got a few spot minutes in the NBL 1 as well. Did real well in Tasmania. Had a 28-point weekend down there, which scoring anything in Tassie's hard, let alone coming off the end of the bench and doing it.
All-Star 5 finalist to boot. 15 points per game, so he's going to be a threat. Into a zone now, the Kilsyth Cobras. So now we get to see how the Blues will handle this. Ball pinging around. Finds its way to Beattie. Single digits on the shot clock. Got to get busy now, Frankston. Might have been a travel. Got away with it. 3-ball from the corner. Not quite. Beattie, a strong rebound. Here's the skipper. And he left it well short there, Maddox Parsons.
Yeah, not the wrong shot to take. If they're going to zone up and leave you open for a 3, you have to take that. It's a dangerous game to keep leaving them open. Post up Vandervorm with the fadeaway, 2 pieces of the iron, no good. He's punted almost into the stands by Brody Hull. Just breaks up the offense a little bit for the Blues.
Got to be careful. There's a pizza that just got delivered down there.
Nearly got delivered to someone's face.
Nearly ruined somebody's night.
Oh, we'd hook him up with another one for sure.
Heath Tenner into the game now for Frankston.
Tenner's a pretty solid name in the Kilsyth Cobras. As Nick Tenner, one of the assistant coaches, played a lot of games here for the club.
And this offense on both sides of the ball has drastically slowed down.
Adrenaline's worn off.
That's it. Team's now looking for their second win after the fired-up start, albeit if it was slightly delayed by a shot clock error. Smooth move, a foul call, tough take, and it'll be free throws coming for Brody Hull.
Not only the shot clock to start with, the women's game going to double overtime. The whole time, the teams are just sitting at the ends of the court waiting their turn. So what was supposed to be an 8 o'clock start drifted out to about 20 past, I think, by the time we got there, maybe even later.
It's a fascinating one. The last thing you want when you've got plenty of nervous energy building up, you just want to get out there on the floor and you got to wait, wait.
Jazz Salon hit that 3. Keilor fans went off and everyone else in the building went, here we go. Not again.
So Brody Hull to the free throw line.
The clock issues they're just handling at the moment.
The shot clock and the game clock have completely disappeared. Brody Hull, at 62% free throw shooter on the year, has committed to the University of Colorado Springs. So exciting for him.
Absolutely. A little pick up for the mountain folk out there.
And as mentioned, Defensive Player of the Year finalist. Played just the 8 minutes against Knox. Had an impact though. 5 points, 4 rebounds, 3 of them offensive. So you know he's going to go hell for leather on the glass. And again, we're just figuring out this clock issue. And both coaches very relaxed to start this game, Aaron. Is that Wershing's got the hands in the pockets? He's looking very cool, calm and collected.
I don't know how they do it. I'd be up and down. I'd be trying to find a way to stop my hands moving. Maybe that's what it is. But he's looking pretty chill out there, as is Coach Berg for the Blues.
Not sure if it'll last. We saw Michael Walsh for the Cobras women. He tried to speak during the presentation, and his voice was absolutely cooked.
Nah, he had nothing left.
So back to a 2-point game here at the Kilsyth Sports Centre. Here is Jackson. Great backdoor cut. Pass was good. Finish was even better.
That's the second basket they've scored from that high-low backdoor cut. It's a real good offensive set for the Blues, and the Cobras are going to have to figure it out. Otherwise, they'll keep scoring from it.
Corey Hastings on the finish at 15 points in the prelim. 4 rebounds, 4 assists. 45-3. Hits back iron for the Cobras. They'll get another look at it. Feet set. Triple was good.
Corley Haig starting to line up. It's 2 points to his name now. Missing the shot before was Isaac Gosson, team leading scorer. We haven't had a heck of a lot of him yet as the ball spills out of the hands of Blake Jackson into the Cobras' possession.
Yeah, it's a good pickup. Gosson, we're just waiting for him to get going. Haig, same spot, same shot, same result. Cobras fired up all of a sudden.
6 straight points in about 20 seconds. The Cobras take the lead.
Corley Haig up to 10 now in this game. Having a big impact. Beattie for 3, and it's back iron. And Haig will get the chance to go to the free throw line. It Was maybe a little bit of a rush of blood because he was feeling it, but he gets rewarded with the free throws nonetheless, and he'll go to the line to shoot a pair.
He's basically ran right into Heath Turner, who's tapped the chest and said, okay, I'll accept that, but I also don't think he did a heck of a lot wrong down there. It's usually not a wise idea to run into a tenner. And again, a generation of Cobras fans saw people try to do that with Nick unsuccessfully. Good to see that it's carried on through Heath into the next generation.
Fascinating in this game. So much of the focus on Kengaiser and Gosson on either side of the ball, and at the moment, just a little slow start for both of those players. Just the 3 points between the two of them, so we'll see as this game progresses. Clearly they were top of the scouting report for both coaches. Here was Kengaiser. Pulls up for three. Got a look, couldn't bury it.
It was almost as if on cue, wasn't it? Must he get himself involved?
Might have an earpiece in listening to us. Great effort to find the player and actually give that ball up. Step through, kick to the wing. One more, the ball's pinging around. Haig in a familiar spot, can't get it to go. Kengaiser pushing, but it'll be Kilsyth ball.
Well, he's pointed the other way. He's called Frankston ball. There were about everyone on the bench there. It was as if it was a coordinated dance. They had the left arms out, pointing to the Cobras' way, and the referee right in their face points Frankston's way.
And we have a timeout on the floor, so everyone gets a chance just to catch their breath. 21-17 the way of the Kilsyth Cobras to start this game. Aaron Tate, what have you seen? How are you feeling the start of this contest?
Well, you pointed out before that between Lockie Kengaiser and Isaac Gosson, they've only got the 3 points between them. They've only put up 3 shots as well. So in near on 8 minutes of basketball, just over 8 minutes of basketball, the balls had to swing around to the lesser light. I shouldn't say the lesser lights, that's not the right term, but the less usual suspects there. So that's some real grand final basketball stuff. You scout as much as you can, and you really try to take the opposing leading scorer out of it. Do they overcome that, or do they dish it off to their teammates and trust them to follow through?
It's going to be fascinating as this game progresses, and it'll also be interesting to see. We've spoken about the depth a few times. If down the stretch the coaches maybe tighten up a little bit and we don't see them go as far down the bench as they perhaps have during the rest of the regular season and into the early parts of the playoffs.
It's very true. You get to a point where if you're mid-season and you want to give the kids a run when there's 3 minutes up and 3 minutes left and you're up by 5, that's an obviously good experience for them. At grand finals, a different beast. You cannot have any mistakes when it comes to the crunch. So that will be interesting. Who are the 5 that are going to finish this one? And look, that's a long time away, but it's something to look forward to.
No doubt about that. Macaulay Haig leads all scorers at the moment. He has 12 points, 2 of 3 from deep, a couple of rebounds as well. And for Frankston, well, as expected, sharing it around, Blake Jackson has 5. He leads the way, 3 dimes and a rebound to boot as well.
And look, despite the nerves, Frankston's only committed the 2 turnovers and Kilsyth the 1. So both teams looking after the ball, despite the obvious adrenaline coursing through their system at this point.
Zone now for the Cobras. Great drop-off ball. He just spent it before he had it, Blake Jackson. I do love when teams come out in a zone after a timeout just to throw whatever was drawn up on the opposition end straight out the window.
I want to see the old double fake one day. I want to see someone come out in a zone offense and suddenly they're manned up.
Well, I'm not sure we've seen that one over the years. 90 seconds to play in the first quarter. Cobras with the advantage and a double dribble called. Didn't know that rule still existed, Aaron.
Jeez. That's right. And I mean, not to say it wasn't there, but it was the trailing ref as well. So as much as Wyatt Stewart's down there looking very confused, the ref was sure he saw something, so...
Would have just been a little loose onto the body.
You know, the old ball on the hip.
Might have just ticked it over the line. Interesting you mentioned those Frankston turnovers. They committed 26 in the qualifying final loss. What a fantastic move from Jackson. Couldn't get it to go. Fights again. Kilsyth secure the ball.
That deserves more. That was a strong move.
Serious athlete. Ball just at the feet. Not a great pass. They'll push back the other way here, the Blues. Although there's not a heap of help on the break. Eventually the troops arrive. But the Cobras' defensive transition was good. Kengaiser, tough take, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot a pair.
So he's going to work his way into this one, Lockie Kengaiser. He's amongst the leading scorers in the league. I think I saw he was 7th out of the teams that qualify, or the players that qualified. He's not going to sit there and accept 3 points in the first quarter off of 3 shots. He's going to get himself involved, and it's something the Cobras are going to have to deal with.
67% shooter at the free throw line. Always a good way to try and get yourself into the game. As we mentioned, hasn't quite maybe had the impact we expected, but certainly capable. And he splits the pair. First point in a long time for Frankston. They've been stuck on 17 for what seemed like an eternity.
It did, but it's not as if the Cobras have really punished them in that time either. They're about to be stuck in the backcourt here.
Great trap from Frankston. Almost gave it straight back. In fact, they did give it straight back, so all the defensive hard work comes undone with a loose pass, and the Cobras now eventually get into the front court.
Something you're going to see just about after every made free throw. You're going to be trapped, so it's interesting that the Cobras were surprised by that.
Precise. He was loose. The turnovers have began. Kingaisa, great round the back move. Put him in the weight room, but then blew the finish. Cobras should hold for one here. Shot clock is dead.
It's Isaac Gosson again, quiet so far. Can you keep a scorer like him down? We'll find out.
5 seconds to get a shot up. Gosson's got to get busy. Tough take to the middle. Gosson, he did everything but drop. And that will do us for an entertaining, a high-octane first quarter. Both teams shot out of the blocks and then stumbled a little bit, Aaron. And we end the first quarter with a 21-18 lead to the home side. The Kilsyth Cobras, will it be third time's a charm for them? Well, after the first quarter, they look to be the ones to beat, but we've got a long, long way to go.
Well, that's it. There's certainly not any dominance in this game. No one's, Macaulay Haig at the moment sitting on 12 points is really shone. But beyond that, there's a real sort of team efforts on both parts. No one has really stood out for Frankston. That is to say, across the board, they've been scoring well. Whereas the Cobras, they need to find another avenue to score because it has been Haig. Vandervorm's on 1 of 4 from the field, which isn't terrible at this point, early stages, but he's going to want to get going. And again, Isaac Gosson, none of 2, hasn't hit the scoreboard just yet.
Sometimes all it takes is one player to stand up in games like this. We saw in the women's game that just took place, all 50 minutes of it, because it was a double overtime classic. It was Lily Exton who was the standout. I think she finished with 33 and 19 rebounds in that game and just blew it to pieces. So is Macaulay Haig going to be that player who steps up? Well, he's made a great start, but we know Frankston have plenty capable of doing exactly the same.
That's it. Frankston have length and size, so they're going to want to switch on a lot of those players now if they are indeed in a man and get a hand out to Macaulay Haig, because he has hit a couple from that left wing. Missed his last one over there, so he's not coming off of a make at the moment, but he's always looking dangerous. So it'll be interesting as to how they do handle that and whether they can temper his influence in this.
Also, just worth noting, Macaulay Haig does have 2 personal fouls, so never handy to pick up 2 early in a contest, especially in that first quarter. So something just to keep an eye on as this game progresses. Nugent for Frankston has 2 himself. They're the only 2 with more than the 1 personal foul.
So 2 fouls, it doesn't seem alarming, but you go out and commit a foul in the first 3 minutes, you're not seeing the court for the rest of the first half. So you do absolutely need to be mindful of that.
And then the pressure goes on to the coaches. It's one of those fascinating things. I don't think anybody has ever found the right answer in all the years of basketball and all the 1,000 games that are played across the country of whether you pull them off and don't risk getting that next foul, or whether you let them play and enjoy the impact that they can have on the floor when it's one of your stars. But hopefully, for Kilsyth's sake, they don't get to that point and don't have to make that type of decision.
It's one way, if you get it wrong, you are so far in a hole. You've got someone on 4 fouls, or you've got a 15-point gap you've got to get yourself out of. So even if you get it right, it's only really a break even, isn't it?
That's it. Just about ready to get things back underway. BigV, VYCM Championship Grand Final for 2025. And it is the Frankston Blues who'll get the first look, and Kilsyth in this zone, which has been working for them, hasn't it?
It has, especially you mentioned that there was a bit of a drought, although they've found a way through right now, although suddenly trapped under there and he's thrown it away. Geez, for a minute there, it looked like they'd picked the lock and they'd found a way through, but the inside-out pass, just a little errant, goes straight into the hands of Coach Berg.
Maddox pass, he's probably just had to go straight up there on the baseline catch in that dunker spot. Dribble might have cost him, and it gave time for the Cobras just to gather themselves. Here's Harvey. Might get it back. Hard drive. Help was there. Pass was even better. Finish not quite. Frankston back the other way. Jackson, cooler heads prevailed. They'll reset in the half court.
It's well defended by Frankston. There's a big 3-point attempt, no good from Hastings. That was Lands, pardon me.
Tough take, good, big block, Ken Geyser. Rose up and denied Isaiah Harvey. Back the other way, here they come. Ran into some trouble. High-low pass was interesting. It got the job done. It didn't look very conventional.
Was not very point guard-esque, but just about did the job for them. I'm just going to get rid of this bit of paper with the wrong numbers on it. That's out.
Turn around the corner. It was a risk. It didn't work out. It did for the Cobras. And Vandervorm buries a triple.
And a member of the previous 2 grand final teams, Lockie Vandervorm, would be playing this game with a chip on his shoulder. And if he's going to get that 3-pointer to go, it's certainly going to have a big impact for his squad.
Lead doubles. Here's Parsons, takes his time, bounces it off his foot, almost turns it over, does turn it over.
Tom Gosson fished that out from underneath the feet of Jesse Lands after all that.
Vandervorm shouting the instructions. Great take. And the pass in the end, everyone thought it was going to go up from Harvey, dished it off.
Including Lockie Vandervorm.
It's always the issue when your teammate's not ready for it. They go down low to Jackson. He's been the man from Frankston. Double team comes. Extra kick, Ken Geyser for 3. And we have a wedgie, ladies and gentlemen.
Jeez, and how about that? Blake Jackson attracting the double team. He leave open Lockie Kangaiser, who are 17 and a bit points a game. That's risky, and they nearly paid the price for it, if not for a meddlesome rim. Nick Day checks back in for the Cobras, replacing Wyatt Stewart.
So Frankston's offense got out to a flyer, but has come to a grinding halt at the moment. Their defense is keeping them in the game. They only trail by 6, but it's been a really tough time over the last 6 to 7 minutes of game time. 3 no good for the Cobras, and they'll get another chance here. Frankston just need to find the bottom of the net, get the confidence back up. The zone has wreaked some havoc. Ken Geyser will go to the line to shoot 2. It almost looked like he was going to get the 3-point play, but instead we'll have a pair from the charity stripe.
So the last field goal, and obviously there won't be one on this possession barring an offensive rebound, but the last field goal for Frankston was with 3:28 left in the first. That's 6 odd minutes without a field goal. They've had 1 free throw in that time. Make that 2. But I mean, that just came so close to breaking the drought there from Kangaiser. And I mean, of course it's going to be Lockie Kangaiser, scoring prowess that he does have. I've just nudged him.
Had to get one out of the way, and I'm glad it was you and not me.
That's one of my signature moves, I reckon.
So Frankston's offense continues to find itself in a bit of a drought. Here come the Cobras, and here comes their man, Gosson. And that's a big moment for him.
To break your own drought, first field goal of the game from right under the bucket like that. You got to cash in on the little luxuries when they present himself, as Harvey gets a hand to it despite his back being to the ball, but gets it right back straight to his opponent, Matt Parsons.
Turnovers becoming an issue for both teams. Alley-oop ball was high. There was some body contact on Jackson, but both players contesting the ball. Nothing to see here. And we almost had a big moment, and I'm glad both players picked themselves up quickly as well.
It looks a bit scary, didn't it? As you said, eyes for the ball. It's one of those ones that they are. It's big and footy as to whether we give away a free kick or not with the eyes on the ball, but no harm done, which is a relief.
The ball to be won and there to play for. It was a 50-50, so good no call from the officials.
Had they pulled it off, though,
would have been something. Seven-point lead for Kilsyth. Line drive triple from Vandervorm. You cannot leave that man open.
That's 3. Vandervorm stepping up at the end of the first and into this second quarter as well.
It's his 3rd triple of the night. Plenty of contact. Crowd wanted to travel. I don't think you're going to get that call just quietly.
It was indeed the foul called on Tom Gosson. Only his first.
Turnovers, as mentioned, 8 Kilsyth, 7 Frankston. So maybe those nerves starting to play a factor in the second quarter, which comes as a little bit of a surprise, but both teams are touch loose with the ball.
We did mention it as the opposite tone at first, didn't we? And suddenly it's really sort of busted open.
And Jackson now will get a chance at the free throw line. It hasn't been the happiest of hunting grounds for the Blues. 4 of 7 so far tonight.
Isaac Gosson just picked up his second foul, which again, not an enormous deal, but 3 fouls would be. So we are playing with some caution at this point.
Leads out to double digits now. And that's an important mate for Blake Jackson. Leads the way with 6 points for Frankston, 3 assists. And gets a friendly roll on the second.
It tried its best not to, didn't it?
So Nugent, the only one with more than 1 foul for Frankston. He checks back into the game.
Yeah, that's the first time in about 7 minutes Frankston have gone down to their end and come back with 2 points from it.
Allows them to set up their half-court trap as well. Almost drew an 8-second violation. Harvey, 3-ball. The three-point party continues for the Cobras.
He shot that, I reckon, before he had the ball. He'd set up, his feet were set, his hands are right there. Just did the job and finished it well, did Isaiah Harvey.
They're 6 of 10 from deep, and it's proving the difference in this game. Jackson, the strength, the finish, not quite. Good rebound from the Cobras.
Jeez, I thought he had a move on Nick Day there.
Strong effort on the rebound. Jackson throwing his body around. Push pass was good. Finish was better. Count the points and 1.
Again, that breaks a massive drought for Frankston, and their crowd is very much into it. They are getting up and loud, and that is a tough bucket from Zaid Nugent.
Almost 8 minutes of game time without a field goal made, and considering we've only played 15 in this game, that's quite a remarkable statistic. And Zaid Nugent, the one who breaks it, had a really good game against Casey in the preliminary final for Frankston. 10 points, 9 rebounds, 6 of them offensive, 4 assists as well to boot. And he completes the three-point play. So steadies the ship momentarily for the Blues. They trail by 8.
We talk about them being in such a drought. They're still very much in this. The defense has been elite.
Hands from both teams have played a factor in this game. A lot of broken possessions. Stagnant offense for Kilsyth. Got to make something happen. They don't. They turn the ball over. Here come the Blues. King Geis is the one trailing. Gets it downhill. That's a really tough look. Maybe forced it a touch. Good defense from the Cobras.
Stewart just split the gap in the pass. Went right through both Tom Gosson.
Turnovers continue just to plague both teams. 9th for Kilsyth. Can see it sometimes in grand finals, can't we?
Oh, they can be scrappy affairs, absolutely.
Just every now and again you get some second guessing, you get a little bit more physicality. Refs put the whistle a touch more as well.
And even that pass, I mean, you get it to either Isaac or Tom. He's not sure which Gosson to go to, so he picked both of them. That's a big 3. That's huge.
Beatty with the step-back triple, no hesitation. He's had a few tonight, and now we've got a timeout on the floor for Kilsyth. Frankston have shot back into this game, haven't they? And Kilsyth may be ruining the opportunity to not put more points on the board when the Blues had their drought.
We said it, 8 minutes without a field goal. A couple of minutes later, they're only down 5, and they have got some form going into this timeout too.
They certainly do. What a fantastic season both these teams have had. And the Cobras, they were always destined to get here. If you missed their journey here to the grand final, 21-1 on the regular season, just dropped a single game. Got to the qualifying final and went down to Casey, but they made good in the semi against Eltham and then the prelim against Knox. And speaking of Knox, Frankston, they lost their qualifying final to Knox by 4 points. They had 26 turnovers in that game, but then they beat Sandringham in the semi and then beat Casey in the prelim by 12 points. Turnovers a little bit of an issue there as well. They had 22 in that game, but still managed to win by 12. And it just shows sometimes doing it the hard way is not too bad.
Well, that's right. You stay in form. You keep match fit. None of these take a week off and get the edge off.
It's always a fascinating debate whether that week off, if you win the first qualifying final, just as you're a little sluggish in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the prelim,
It'd be so hard to rock up to training on Tuesday night knowing you're going to stay game fit when you've just pulled off a qualifying final win, isn't it? Just
And you got no game that you're playing towards or scouting towards or anything like that. All part of the development for both of these teams and all the young players out there on the floor. So much great young talent.
Trap out of the inbounds.
Seen this a little bit from Frankston. Kilsyth do a good job of navigating for the moment. Into a zone now, the Blues. Cross-court kick was good. Found Haig. You'd almost just expected it to go down.
Just about. And Brody Hull has an issue with the scorers, so he's had to apologise now.
The reflexes on the scorers was phenomenal. How on earth did they get out of the way?
That ball was coming at them faster than you could clock.
I think Duncan Berg's just gone up and asked whether the scorer is Spider-Man or something because that was unbelievable.
It was just a tilt of the head, but had he have left that an extra 100th of a second, he'd have a concussion.
Look at that Spalding written on his forehead. No dice from Hastings. They do get the ball back, Frankston. Great defensive effort from Hay, playing with 2 fouls, but contested the shot and did it well. Kingaisa trying to get going. 3-ball, Beatty back iron. Hastings gets another look. Kingaisa for 3. No good. Tough putback. We'll call it a pass. A relentless hustle from Frankston.
It was 5 or 6 shots on the same possession and never once looked like losing the ball. Back to 5. Oh, 3-point game.
What an effort from Frankston. They've come alive all of a sudden. Gosson. He can't get it to go. Here's Kingaisa. And Hastings, back to Kingaisa, tough man to stop. Elevation, hoop plus the harm. He's pulled up just a little bit sore. Think he's okay. And he could tie this game, Aaron.
He could tie the game, and he's just put Isaac Gosson on 3 fouls. So he'll have to rest, and no doubt we'll see him. Oh, no, I'm saying the wrong Gosson, aren't I? I am completely mistaken. I don't know what I am looking at there.
You can have a Gosson mistake every now and again.
It was a Gosson goof. Tom was a 1-on-2. That's my bad.
I'm sure it's not the first time they've been mistaken for each other.
Surely not.
And won't be the last. Vandervorm on 2 as well. Ball kicks around. Here for Kilsyth. They need a basket. All the momentum with Frankston. Little fall from Stewart. Recovered well. Vandervorm for 3. He's been shooting the lights out. Strong rebound, Nugent. And he gave it right up. Straight to a layup. It was such great work, and it all came undone in a hurry.
I feel like everyone deserted him. He picked up the rebound somehow, outdid the Cobras there, and then had to do all the hard work himself, dribbling the ball up the court.
Both teams combined for almost 20 turnovers here in this first half. Kingaisa trying to keep going. How did he get that to go?
That is tough. Rode the contact, leaned back. He was completely off balance, and he still made it go.
So all of a sudden, he's up to 7 points and starting to play a factor. Wide open Stewart. Almost 2 open in the end. There's going to be a foul off the ball on the rebound.
It's been picked up on Zaid Nugent, I think. Remember the look on his face? It has.
He did a whole lot wrong. I thought it could have been on his teammate Ryan Lane.
That's a bit hard. Anytime a foul up in the air on a rebound is obviously tough stuff. I mean, if you're grabbing their arm, that's one thing, but that's body contact when you're both up in the air. That's a tough call.
I believe that is Nugent's 3rd as well. He was bringing good energy for the Blues. Good patience from Haig. He just left it short. And now it's Kilsyth doing the offensive rebounding, and it's a foul on Jackson. He's 2nd.
And that was, I mean, once again, Jackson didn't do a heck of a lot wrong. He had to get on the floor to get the ball, but Wyatt Stewart just beat him to it, had the advantage, got in front, and then earns the... How many team fouls is that now? That's the... only the 2nd team foul for Frankston, so nothing to worry about there.
Plenty to give. Got 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back and forth game. Contact there was always going to get called. Jackson not happy. And that is his 3rd. So that is a big foul. And I think Duncan Berg is going to get him out of the game.
As an about turn, he marched straight to the bench. He's bringing Corey Hastings back in. Oh, no, there's also We got Maddox Parsons coming in. I was going to say small for a big, but geez, I thought he cut it fairly fine there, Coach Berg. I thought they were going to make him wait for the next possession, which would have been lethal had a fourth foul been picked up.
Not sure if the cameras caught it, but he was yelling down the bench at Corey Hastings, who I'm not sure what he was doing, but he wasn't paying any attention to his coach.
He was just vibing down there.
And eventually shot up and sprinted to the score bench.
Important free throws for this first half from Haig.
Ken Geiser turns the corner. Good hands. Vandervoorman did a great job to get back in court, but he gave it up. Gives the Blues another chance. Ball loose. Cobras rebound again. Lead is 2. Stewart's been good. No look pass. Foul. And it's on the ground. And that was their last one to give. Ken Geiser's second.
Geez, they got rid of their fouls in a hurry. I don't think they had any team fouls with about 2.5 minutes left. Suddenly they've reeled off all 4 of them in the space of about 50 seconds. I mean, if you got them, you may as well use them.
That's it. Just a little delay as officials just checked for a sweat patch down on the opposite end of the court.
No one from duty group sprung up to action. They just are similar to Corey Hastings before. They're just sitting there in their own world.
Just happy to be taking it all in.
Yeah.
90 seconds to play in the first half. Here's Harvey, just stuck with the play and did it really well.
If he can get his back in front of his defender, there's very little he can do because deceptively strong is Isaiah Harvey down low.
Just wasn't rushed at all, played at his own pace. Puts them up by 4. Ken Geiser and turnover again for Frankston. They are really starting to rack up.
I think at quarter time, they had, 1 and the Cobras 2 or vice versa. As you say, it's becoming a factor. It's now 11 turnovers for Frankston. 8 for the Cobras as well. They're certainly not innocent. Yeah, starting to become a real factor in this game.
Tell you what, Aaron, as we mentioned, double overtime game in the last game. I get the feeling this one is going to go right down to the wire, as a good grand final should. Harvey, 3. He shot that from a mile out, almost in the car park. Ball finds its way to Stewart. I'll get another look. So the Cobras now the ones dominating the offensive glass.
Well, it came off the hip of Parsons. Nobody read that off the board.
Got to get busy now. Kilsyth, clock winding down. Good cut, good pass, good finish.
Shortest bloke on the court goes up with a mini hook.
And now the Cobras in a trap. Loose ball turnover. Great read. Great take. The gather. The finish. Cobras gaining momentum.
You wouldn't find a much more popular bloke at this club than Nick Day, so you could see the crowd really into that. Not only the defensive effort, but just who it was as well. A man who's everywhere suddenly was everywhere on defense.
Double-digit turnovers now for the Blues as well. The shot clock is dead. They can hold for 1. And Ken Geiser will look to do it, although he burns. Might have travelled and turned it away. Another turnover for Frankston. My goodness.
Ken Geiser really committed to the drive there. I think he expected the defense in Trezise to move, but Trezise stood his ground and made the right choice.
8.5 on the clock. Frankston going to be up the court. And a substitution's going to come on the floor. So they're going to get Ken Geiser out of the game because he has those 2 personal fouls. So heads up coaching from Duncan Berg.
See Amari Ryer coming in for his first burn. A little 8-second cameo. You wouldn't want to foul, though, because they are at the limit. So the hands have still got to stay out.
Great spot, Aaron. Here we go. 8.5 seconds. What can the Cobras draw up? Can they go the length of the court? 94 feet. Ball comes across to Trezise. Kick across, 3 ball on its way. Stewart got it to go. The crowd explodes, and the Kilsyth Cobras take a big chunk of momentum into the second half. They led by double digits. It got crunched down to 1 point, and now they are out back to an 11-point lead.
And as a basket, Wyatt Stewart is a very traditional point guard, someone who's more of a facilitator than a shooter. So for him to make that at the end is enormous for the momentum of the Cobras going into halftime, as you say, that double-digit lead.
Huge play from Wyatt Stewart, who's now up to 7 points off the bench to go along with 2 rebounds and an assist. Macaulay Haig, he leads the way for all scorers with 13 for Kilsyth. Isaiah Harvey has 7. as well for the Cobras. Ken Geese, well, he got going a little bit in that second quarter, didn't he, Aaron? He's up to 9.
And one big sort of fadeaway right at the end there as well, where managed to get it in somehow. So if you're going to be a major sort of part of the Frankston offense and you start hitting your shots like that, then certainly means that your team is nowhere near out of this.
Yeah, Blake Jackson had a hot start, ended up picking up his 3rd foul in that second quarter. He has 7 points, 3 assists, a couple of rebounds, but the turnovers has been a big factor for both teams. 11 now for Frankston, 10 for Kilsyth. And now it'll be who can look after the ball the best in the second half.
That's sort of really kind of, I wouldn't say fell apart because there was still some great basketball in that second quarter, but the sloppiness really came in. Again, the nerves started to wear off. Then they kind of reappeared in that second quarter. So who can indeed look after it coming into this second half?
Well, season on the line. The Cobras, they've thrown the first punch. They lead by 11 at the half. All to play for the deciding game of this 2025 Victorian Youth Championship season. We're going to take a short break and we will be back with the final 20 minutes of the season. Hello and welcome back to the Kilsyth Sports Centre. It is the BigV Vic Youth Championship Men's Grand Final for 2025. The Kilsyth Cobras up against the Frankston Blues if you're just joining us. My name is Matt Hickey. I'm joined by Aaron Tate. And Aaron, it was the Cobras who ended that second quarter and that first half on an absolute heater, and they now have an 11-point lead.
Really, the start of the second quarter became a real slog. The defense has really ramped up. Everything became very disrupted. And it was the Cobras who came out a little better, trying to emerge from that bit of a slump, while the Blues were sort of stuck behind a bit. They've shown signs, though. They're certainly not out of it, but the Cobras in the box seat. However, last two games on this court at this elite level, the women's game earlier tonight, the Cobras gave up a 13-point lead, ended up in double overtime. And obviously the men's NBL won last week. The Cobras giving up a 13-point three-quarter time lead to lose that to the Tigers. So no lead is safe on this court. And I'm sure Frankston are coming in with a bit of an idea, a bit of a changed game plan, and a lot of hope.
Yeah, no doubt about that. The big key factor in the first half, the first 20 minutes of play, was a three-point shooting from Kilsyth. 7 of 17 from deep. And it was Lockie Vandervorm who led the way on that front, 3 of 5. That was a crucial bit of offense compared to the other end of the ball where it's 2 of 14, Aaron.
That's right, they've struggled, and they've had some good looks as well. I mean, Maddox Parsons had 2 wide open ones that he would usually hit at least one of. Corey Hastings, none of 3, and Lockie Kangais, none of 3 as well. I imagine that's probably that's not going to stay that way. They seem like too good of players to leave themselves on none of 3 or none of whatever from the field. So it's just a matter of how early they can happen, and can they give themselves a sniff early on in this third.
So countdown on now to the second half. A packed crowd. If you haven't seen some other results from around the grounds, it was the Kilsyth women as they looked to do the double, who won in double overtime against Keilor. What an incredible contest that was. There were a few players who played all 50 minutes of that game. Going to be some tired bodies tomorrow. But the standout, and what a fantastic game she played, was Lily Exton, who had 33 points and 19 rebounds. She's
had some big games throughout the year, as really. She's missed some time with under 18s or under 20s championships. She's spent some time overseas playing as well. But that was, I think, a real breakout performance. To come out with a 33-point, I think that might have been a season-high effort from her, and just dominate the boards as she did. That's been the making of Lily Exton, and the future is it's unwritten for her, but anything can happen because she is an absolute star in the making.
No doubt about that. We've had a little bit of an issue, I think, with the scoreboard here in the stadium, hence an extended delay. All the player names and points and fouls have disappeared, so we're just trying to figure that one out here in the building.
My usual broadcast partner, and Blake Tennant, it's him and I have almost a catchphrase. There's an issue with the scoreboard, we've got a delay. Because that thing has just full of ghosts, apparently.
He's walked over and fixed it within 20 seconds, so...
Zach's everywhere like that. It's Coach Malt. Mind you, when it happens in the men's game, he's in the rooms, someone's going to make a nervous knock on the door to say, look, I know you're in the middle of something, but the scoreboard's on the fritz again. We need your help.
Can you come and help us?
Get someone else to finish your chat there.
Goes over and gets the job done. So just sort out a few things on that scoreboard and we'll get back underway.
The countdown's still on. It's still got 55 seconds. I'm sure that'll be... Yep, there it goes.
There
as
we
soon
go.
as I say that, gets wiped. Everyone's ready to go. But as you say, the last 20 minutes, in theory...
In theory. It's a very good call, Aaron.
Of season 2025.
Kilsyth went down in the decider in 2023, went down in the decider in 2024. Can they break the drought? Can they break the hoodoo here in 2025? And can Frankston, with this star-studded team, it wasn't too long ago that they weren't in the Youth Championship division. They've built this program back up and now looking for a championship here in 2025. The Blues, they're in the blue. The Cobras in the black. We're back underway. Jackson spins, hooks with the left, picks up from where he left off, at least in the first quarter.
Well, that is a beautiful spin move. He's going at full pace, and he's certainly not a small man. So to spin like that and keep your balance is enormous.
Playing with 3 fouls as well, one thing to keep an eye on. Hey, got some space for the moment. Here is Jackson, does a good job to stay in front without fouling. Gosson turns the corner. Big block from Blake Jackson. And saved.
Huge defensive effort from the man, as you say, on 3 fouls.
Kengaisa swoops through, couldn't score. That would have topped up a brilliant team possession from the Blues, but alas, they come up empty-handed. Good hands. Kengaisa wanted it. Harvey might have hurt himself. Jackson goes to the basket. Harvey now picking himself up. Kengaisa for three. It's all happening. Ball finds its way back out. Roller coaster stuff. Little one, too, was great. Gossam blew the layup.
He didn't even hit the rim. He went up with the right hand, and I think he realised his mistake halfway through. And he's left it well short from very short.
Chaos basketball here to start the second half. My goodness.
I don't know what the coaches said, but they've really got him revved up, and maybe not in a good way.
Got to get a shot up here. Here goes Hastings. Step back three. Tough look. Great defensive set from the Cobras.
Yeah, that's been something really impressive for both teams coming out of this break. The defense has been intense, but 100% legal. Not a foul has been committed, especially with a couple of people in foul trouble. That's a pretty impressive statistic coming out of the first 2 minutes of the halftime break.
Isaiah Harvey heads to the bench. A little proppy, but I think he's going to be good to continue on in this game. Just getting a rest. Always one of those ones where you don't want the ankle to cool down if that's what you've rolled. Stewart from way downtown. He shot it from Frankston, and he said, have all three of those.
That crossed Eastlink. And again, not usually the type to be raining down threes in a game, but if anyone's going to do it now and Wyatt Stewart's going to be the man, so be it. Although Kangeis at the other end almost did the same thing.
Big rebound from Parsons. Jump ball will be with Kilsyth.
I mentioned at the very start, it'll be interesting to see if someone can come off the bench and score sort of 15, 18 points. Maybe it's Wyatt Stewart. He's up to 10 at the moment. Could well be him. 10
in 13 minutes, having a big impact. Leads 12. Three ball again for the Cobras. The party carries on.
Corley Haig again. He hit two in a row earlier in the game, I should say. Been a bit dry from the well since then, but pick on back as then Jackson misses one. But good defensive effort. Again, that's Blake Jackson's hands everywhere. When you're playing with three, that is risky, but he's pulling it off.
Duncan Berg's up might have just skipped a beat for a moment watching that.
See him close in on the point guard.
Concerning for Frankston is they're trying to get it all back at once, trying to answer threes with threes, and it's resulting in potentially not the best looks in their offense. They trail by 15. This is getting out of hand now for the Blues. 8 of 18 from deep. Almost another one. Big rebound, Nugent. What a fly, and drew the foul.
That'll be on Isaac Gosson. Here's second, and I know that because I misappropriated his first foul. Number 2 for Gosson.
Sorry, that's 9 of 19, by the way, for the Cobras. Now that our stats update.
Jeez.
47% from deep. It's the difference in the game.
Elite clip.
Parsons found the kick out. Again, they try and save it from three. Big hustle. Blake Jackson is trying to put the team on his back.
That is a grown man basket. He just kept the ball up high, used his body strength to muscle through the Cobra defense and picked it off the glass.
He's got 11. Stewart turns the corner. Drop-off ball. Got kicked around. It somehow ended back with Stewart. Here's Haig. Always looks short out of the hand. Big rebound. Back the other way come Frankston trying to eat into this lead.
Hastings against Trezise. Hastings liked that look. I think he had the speed advantage on Sam Trezise. On the cheap foul. And that, I reckon that could be number 4 for Zay Nugent.
Just unnecessary. The big man trailing, trying to pick the pocket of the point guard. Can't afford to do that. He's going to get left out there. Just a little overzealous. In fact, now he's going to come out of the game.
Coach Berg had to think about it too. And left him out there as a punishment just to be teach him a little lesson. Don't you dare pick up your 5th foul. I'm going to make you risk it, but maybe not in the grand final.
It's a shame. He brings such energy for the Blues, and they need it to get back in this game.
He just said he was huge against Casey.
And we have a shot clock issue.
Never started, still on 23, and they've certainly had more than a second out there, so they might have to estimate how long they've been out there for. Thinking maybe 18.
Officials will have a little conversation. We'll get it all sorted out.
15. No, I didn't see the second hand. Hang on. Referee's head was right between his left hand and me.
Going to get counted all the way
Almost
down
close. 17.
to 17. And we're ready to get back underway. Frankston crowd trying to get their team going. Big take. It could have been Blake Jackson's fourth. He got lucky.
By the time the contact was made, Wyatt Stewart had been in the air for about 45 seconds. He's never really going to land with his feet on the ground. Referee picked that wisely.
Jackson gets downhill. It's going to be a foul, I think. Free throws to come. Big contest. And it was an awkward landing for Blake Jackson, but he picks himself up.
That was two real strong men just going at each other. What's that sport called? The rugby-based one. I think it's Run It. Is that the one where they just run at each other? Gave me some run advice.
Controversial, Run It.
I shouldn't call it a sport, should I?
Giving it a little too much respect, I think, there, Aaron.
Between that and the slap fighting, there's some real interesting quote-unquote sports.
Yeah, putting them in the same basket, I think, is a good call. 3 of 5 now from the line, Blake Jackson. A 13-point lead for the Cobras. Blues just desperate for some easy baskets. They've had nothing easy and out in transition.
Cobras just, they're long and they're quick and they're athletic. It makes it real hard to play against.
Shooting in Blues is helping. That's a tough move. Haig checks out of the game. Isaac Gosson, just the 2 points. Not on the floor at the moment. You just get the feeling at some point in this game he is going to have a say, Aaron.
He had one freebie in the second quarter, and it could have been the start, but he just hasn't really capitalised since.
Offensive rebound, Frankston. Jackson downhill. Smart enough to stop. Ball kicking round. Single-digit shot clock. And there's going to be a foul, much to the chagrin of the Kilsyth crowd.
Nick Day closed out real hard. I think if Hastings hadn't hit the floor, it probably wouldn't have been called, but when you see contact made and someone get decked like that, you've got to call that. That's the 4th team foul for the Cobras as well, so they'll be giving up free throws for the last 4 minutes 43 of this.
+4 on the offensive glass now, Frankston. Into the zone, the Cobras. It worked for them well in the first half. Hastings for 3. Big push in the back. That's a bad missed call. Almost a double dribble as well.
It was a 2-hand shove. Then he finds Nick Day down low to Stewart. Hull gets blocked on the 3. That's Blake Jackson again, although the pass from the outlet was left a little to be desired.
It was a good read from Van der Vorm.
Shot clock never reset. We stop again.
We have another little pause in play.
Shot clock's reading 8, and after the change of possession.
They've had about 2.9, I think.
Sounds about right.
Always remarkable that the officials are so switched on to the shot clock when they've got so much to pay attention with the Den players on the court that they're able to consistently spot that.
It's hard enough on offense keeping track of the shot clock. You only have to worry about you and your teammates. When you got 10 dudes on the court and a tiny little number at the top there.
18, Cobras might be a little harshly done by. Didn't seem like a 6-second possession by any means. Good to see Harvey back on the floor after that awkward fall. Blues into a zone, single-digit shot clock now for the Cobras. Extra one's going to come to Harvey. No, it doesn't. Stewart says, I'll keep it myself. Harvey does eventually collect it, and another O board, this time for the Cobras.
Day to the rack.
Always going to be a foul, you thought. Parsons just had one hip and one arm forward.
It looked harsh because he stood completely still, but he sort of side onto the driver, so you can't have established position. And you're not really facing them. Only the first foul, mind you, for Parsons, so not a huge concern individually. Second team foul as well, so they've got plenty to give, unless he's Aid Nugent. Or Blake Jackson.
First one's a little strong, so Cobra's offense has just slowed momentarily. Frankston winning the quarter by 3. 4 minutes to play.
Maddox Parsons, I don't know how much, he's picked up a bit of sweat on the ball. He got it to the ref's attention. May have just tried the ball, but that also ices Nick Day on the line there a little bit. Misses his first. He's got to wait an extra 10, 20 seconds to get the ball back.
But it also means he's shooting with a dry ball, Aaron.
That's a good point. If anything, you wipe some more sweat on it.
Into the zone again here, Kilsyth. Lead is 9.
Parsons.
I'm not going to have a look at that, I wouldn't have thought. Good hands and good hustle from Defensive Player of the Year finalist Brody Hull. And I think we're going to get a timeout here for Duncan Berg.
They're going to come back to a 5-second shot clock, so trying to draw something up here to ease a bit of pressure on the offensive players on the court to imagine it themselves.
Aaron, you spent a lot of time around Kilsyth. What would it mean to have a youth championship double? They've just seen the women take the chocolates. Men have the 9-point lead, still an eternity left. Frankston capable of coming back, but what a serious tip of the cap to the program if they can walk away with a VYC double.
I feel like any kid involved in the program, whether it's a representative, domestic, whatever, they'll just be walking a little taller if they can pull off the double, because that is a very, very impressive feather to have in your cap, to have both youth championship premierships there. So, yeah, it would be massive for the program. And I think there's an indication as well, because it is a program that really takes pride in its local kids. There are a few associations that do that well, and Kilsyth's one of them. So to do it with some homegrown talent is going to be huge for the Kilsyth community.
Yeah, no doubt about that, especially when you see the pathway through to the NBL 1, the senior sides as well. We look at the core for the NBL 1 men for Kilsyth, and that is really purely based off players that have come through this very program and are now essentially we're 2 minutes away from a top 4 finish in the NBL 1 this year.
Oh, they were. And I mean, the credit to the boys, because a lot of those that have come up through the program are sitting just below where the camera can see. They've filled up one of the boxes down there. They've even brought Coach Godfrey the last few years, NBL 1 head coach, down to watch the program at work. That was Brody Hull getting his hands into the wrong spot.
And that might be free throws to come here for Blake Jackson. We've had some issues with the scoreboard, but at the moment it was reading 4 team fouls, so that might be the 5th. And that will be in the bonus for the next 3.5 minutes. There are some parallels between this crop of Kilsyth players and the crop that we have been speaking about. That team won in 2013, lost in 2014, and then I believe won in 2015 in terms of 3 in a row. And this team now have made their 3rd grand final in a row, looking to win their first.
Exactly, and there's been a few coaches at the helm for that. Obviously, you mentioned Pete Godfrey was in the house tonight. And Mark Landell's coached into a couple of grand finals in the late 20-teens. And then, the last 2 years, Zach Moulton, now Zach Wershing. So while the coaches have changed a few times, the talent pathways remain strong the whole way through.
And Zach Wershing, the connecting dot between those two teams.
There for the start, there for the end.
And can tell you from personal experience, that team was an absolute nightmare to play against. I'm not sure I've ever won a game in this building, Aaron. Walked in the door and got a little shiver down the back of my spine.
This is my favourite place to have basketball in the state, if not the world.
It's a serious Coliseum atmosphere, that is for sure. Crowd almost on top of you when you're out on the floor. That's from way downtown from Harvey, and he's come up with some big hits across this game.
Look, coming into this season, Isaiah Harvey was a pretty good shooter, but probably had to make the leap to an elite shooter to really get minutes in the NBL 1. He's really starting to come along in that aspect.
Up to 10 points, and then the Blues turn it over. So just as Frankston were grinding their way back into it, a big triple, a turnover, lead out to 11. Kilsyth, if they can end this 3 minutes with a bang, could build what would be an insurmountable lead if it gets close to 18 or 20.
I always sort of said you can't really, it doesn't make any sense, this saying. You can't really win a basketball game in 3 minutes, but you can sure as heck lose one. So Frankston have just got to hang on here, try to chip away a little bit at it. No foul called on the barge through the screen. Contested three from Harvey, the immediate apology to the bench, because there was still 8 left on the shot clock.
Parsons just absolutely ran through the Cobras then. Good finish and an important basket. That's Lane for 2, yeah. Important points for him, he's first of the game.
Yeah, it shows the depth of the Blues. I mean, it's someone that can put points on the board, as they all can. Dame managed to get it up somehow and draw the foul. Who is that called on? It will be, I think I saw a 15. That'll be Ryan Lane. Only his first.
And Lane getting minutes here because of the foul trouble to Nugent, but able to have an impact. And again, that goes to the depth that you're talking about. Mentioned at the top of the broadcast, 11 players averaging 15-plus minutes per game for Frankston.
To look down your bench and see a whole bunch of homegrown kids like that you can trust to put out there in this kind of an elite environment, that's a testament to the Frankston program. That's, as you said, rebuilt, literally rebuilding at the moment.
When you look through the numbers, it's quite remarkable that they are still in this game. It's a testament to their hustle and effort. They're 3 of 21 from deep. They're only 10 of 17 from the free throw line. That's a big helps. 3. Gee, they needed that. And Beatty's been the one outlier from deep. He's 4 of 7.
He's been huge this quarter, Nick Beatty. A couple of real good moves. He had the turnover last time down the court, but he's trying to make things happen. As I say, really keeping his squad in this.
Equal leading scorer now. Oh, my goodness. Harvey made him touch the ground. Couldn't finish off the play. Look at the hustle from the captain, Parsons. Ball kicked around. Beatty, Parsons. It's helpful leather. Round the back pass. Kilsyth eventually can gather and relax.
At no point till the end did you know who was going to end up with that.
It is frantic. Oh. And in the end, it's Lockie Vandervorm.
And look, the whistles were just put away on that possession, but it's a grand final, and that is how to do it.
That was fun to watch. 2-3 zone. Hastings for 3. Big rebound, Captain Parsons. Turned it over.
So he was falling off balance because he really had to get up and stretch for that one. Couldn't quite get it to his teammate in lane. It's a second drive there as Kilsyth had just been cut off.
Good hands from the backside from Hull. And they'll get another look. Here he is, Hull. Can he end the play? Always looks short and flat.
The Blues defense, the last couple of times down the court, they've really cut off that dribble penetration well. It becomes a guessing game when you're one out, but they've guessed right. They wanted something.
Wanted a travel or a double dribble or just pick at the pocket. Hull was brilliant. Haig drops it back off to Hull. Heavy contact, no foul. The refs have put the whistle away.
Have they ever?
Should hold for 1 here, Frankston. Shot clock is dead.
And after Nick Beatty, the quarter he's had, he almost would have been tempted to shoot that, but he's done the right thing by the team.
Blake Jackson. Drop-off ball, Parsons turns it over. Still time for the Cobras. Here's Haig. Loose pass to Hull. Ref takes a tumble. 3 goes up. Doesn't get it to go.
That last 3 minutes was madness.
Everyone on the ground, including the officials. It's all happening at the Kilsyth Sports Centre, but it is 3-quarter time and the Cobras lead 57-48. In theory, only 10 minutes, as you've pointed out, Aaron, left in this season, and it is all to play for. The Cobras They finished the year on top of the ladder. They are in the box seat to close this one out.
That's it, but there is no such thing as a safe lead in this building, especially if you're the Cobras. A couple given up already in the last week. Loved Brody Hull on the ground at the end there. His teammates all went to the huddle. I think they'd forgotten about him. It ended up being the Frankston squad having to pick him up. Tom Carruthers has sprinted off the bench going searching for his mate. Real funny little scene there. But how are we looking? Three-quarter time. As you say, 9-point game. Whew, still could go either way. We still haven't seen the last of Lockie Kangais. They're only the 9 points at the moment. But only the 17 minutes as well. I feel like he's going to come in fairly fresh for this fourth quarter.
Isaac Gosson, just the 2 points and only the 18 minutes. Aaron, take us through some of the top performers.
Well, I mean, Macaulay Hayes kind of lifted the scoring load for the Cobras. He's up to 16 points. 4 of 10 from the field. That's an average clip. That's one that you kind of would be happy with at the end of the game. But not necessarily one that's going to blow an opposition out of the water. But then some of the people coming off of the bench, you've got Wyatt Stewart with 10 points. Really making a solid cameo for there. Nick Day with the 4 off the bench as well. But Lockie Vandervorm also 3 triples as part of his 11 points. They've shot the ball fairly well, although the 3-point shot did desert them a little bit at the end of that third quarter.
It's a fascinating contest. It was a close quarter. Frankston actually ended up winning that term, but only by the 2 points, 15-13. Kilsyth, they had 10 turnovers to the half. They only committed 3 in that third quarter. Frankston for themselves. And the 3-point shooting, we've mentioned it a little bit. Kilsyth just cooled marginally. They were shooting 9 of 19, and then they made 1 of 10 from that point on. They are now 10 of 29 from deep. 35% still solid for a game. There's no doubt about that, and it's a whole lot better than 4 of 23, which is what the Frankston Blues are shooting. The one standout there has been Nicholas Beattie, 4 of 7.
That's it. That is to say, everyone else on Frankston is 0 from 16. That's pretty damning, but it's not over. I feel like, and that happened in the women's game as well, I feel like they're just 1 or 2 threes away from someone like a Lockie Kangais or a Jesse Land from getting right back into this.
So the final quarter just about to get underway. Only one will survive the 2025 season and be crowned champions. Will it be the Cobras in their 3rd straight grand final? Kangisa for 3, and he buries it. Lockie Kangisa, big triple.
There's none of 4 before that, but he has broken open the dam potentially. 6-point game.
Well, will it be Frankston, who just like that, as you say, Aaron, have buried the 3, now drawn an offensive foul, and the early momentum with the visitors.
It was an off-ball screen by Tom Gosson, who's just picked up his 4th. And that's a hard one. I mean, brilliant spot by the referee, because usually the eyes are on the action with the ball, but just a little bit illegally trying to get a teammate open was Tom Gosson.
Jackson can get downhill. Kangisa, 2 in a row would have been huge. He had the momentum. Jackson fighting. Great effort to save it. Straight to the Cobras. Gosson to Gosson. 3 ball. Haig. Macaulay Haig, 19 points.
Got a bit to say as well. Wade Jackson copying an earful from Macaulay Haig on the way up the court. Something along the lines of, "That's not how you guard me."
And
might have paraphrased.
Could be the front runner for MVP. Nugent buries his way down low. The hoop plus the harm will go to the line for one more. Frankston not going away.
Zaid Nugent showing how an important part of this team he is. He sat out a lot of the third quarter there with his 4th foul, but he's come back on and immediately brought a spark and a potential 3-point play. Adam Slavnic in for his first minutes.
What an incredible time to get your first minutes of the contest. Clearly they want the big body on Nugent. Has not played, and he's into this game in the last quarter. My goodness, that's a big decision.
That's huge, isn't it?
Lead is 7 for Kilsyth. Plenty of contact off the ball. Kangisa and Haig. Haig now gets it. Wanted the 3. Defense was good. Offense was better.
Macaulay Haig was worn like a glove in that possession. They didn't want to give up the 3, and he eventually found his window to the lane for 2.
He has 21 of their 62. Kilsyth for three. Gets another to go. He's starting to warm up.
He's hit none of 4 up until three-quarter time. He's hit 2 in less than 2 minutes of this fourth quarter.
And he's up to 15 points.
You cannot keep a good man down like that. Trying to reply is Haig. That looked a little long.
Starting to gather some offensive rebounds here, the Cobras. Stewart. Here is Gosson. We thought he might have an impact, Aaron.
Hadn't had a field goal since the end of the first quarter, but that's a big 3 for Isaac Gosson, the Cobras' leading scorer.
And this game's just turned up a notch. Nugent turns the corner one-handed.
That's incredible. He had Slavnic on his back. He didn't leave him alone, but he's just managed to reach out well beyond what I thought was humanly possible.
Not much more Slavnic could have done. Great hands from Beattie. That might be a backcourt violation. And it was.
So it was tapped not last by the Blues. It was tapped loose by, I think it was Corey Hastings, but the Cobras then got the last touch on it. So right call was made. It just kind of left it a second or two just to build some suspense there, but correct call. Frankston at ball. They are down only by 7.
I love when an official has a sense of theatre. Here comes Kilsyth through contact. High arcing floater, does everything but drop. Ball tip loose. Good effort from Stewart. Smallest man on the court was the one having an impact on the glass. Wide open 3. Gosson again. No dice.
That would have brought the house down.
How long does Duncan Berg leave Blake Jackson on the bench? Nice friendly roll. 5-point ball game.
I'm actually coming out of the quarter, Jesse Lands. He's actually only played the 9 minutes, or nearly 10 minutes. I haven't seen a lot of him as one of the starters and someone who can really put points on the board. I don't know if he's okay down there or not.
Something to keep an eye on down the stretch.
4 on the shot clock.
It would look like a jersey tug. No call. Vandervorm, tough fall away. Almost got it to go. Nugent ball pinging around. Gosson ended up with it. He was fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
You mentioned earlier in the game, Matt, a couple of freebies is a good way to get yourself into it. Now, as much as Isaac Gosson made a 3 last time down, a couple of free throws are going to be wonderful for him if he can hit them.
Gonna have a conversation here. Could be Nugent's 5th. Officials have had a discussion. It's going to go the other way. It's going to be a foul on Kilsyth, would you believe? The crowd cannot believe it.
Isaac Gosson just has a look on his face as if to say, hang on, what just happened? So does Zach Wershing, for that matter. That is a big call.
And his 3rd personal too. Is that a momentum shifter, if I can get the words out? Mark that in your book. 65-60, 6:20 remaining.
Ooh.
We'll be talking about that down the stretch. Only time will tell.
Kilsyth will do the inbounding. Huge quarter so far, and we're only 3:40 into it. Oh, that's just a miscommunication. They almost lost it. Good save at the end.
Almost a turnover as well. Nugent was big and strong, playing with 4 fouls, got it to go. And Zach Wershing had actually worded up the bench prior to that possession. If they get a score, I want a timeout. It's exactly what he's got. It is a 3-point ball game.
Frankston has scored 14 points in the last 3 minutes and 50 seconds. They have found their groove. They're threatening to run away with this one. 3 down. It was as much as, I reckon, it was about 15 in the 3rd quarter. It was.
What a contest. Starting to live up to the billing, first versus second. And at the moment, it's the second place Frankston Blues who are making a late charge to try and steal away this championship. We've spoken time and time again about their depth, how they do it by committee. And we were waiting for Lockie Kilsyth to get going. Country Vic Superstar All-Star 5 finalist. And in this quarter, he really has, Aaron.
Just 2 big threes. I think he's 2 or 3 from outside, managing to get into the key as well. He's becoming a problem that I'm sure Coach Wershing down there has got to address, because for a guy that came into the, I mean, he'd still managed to eke out, I think, 9 points for himself despite the shooting woes, but he's already up to 15 and threatening to run away with it.
It's a good call out earlier, Aaron, about Jesse Lands. 11 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists on the year, and has played just the 10 minutes of this game and remains on the bench. And interestingly, Blake Jackson remains on the bench as well for Frankston. So Duncanberg happy to let the 5 that's getting him back into the game out in the court.
Looking at Lands, he's got no ice on him. He's not wrapped up. He doesn't even have the warm-ups on. So might just be something where they're keeping him fresh for the very end, or maybe coach saw something he didn't like. I don't know.
It's always going to be a foul. Might have been the easiest call of the night.
Hasn't been many easy ones for him.
Just the second for Beattie, who's had a good game, 14 points.
He kept him in it in that third quarter.
Plenty of players putting their hand up for grand final MVP as well.
Geez, that'll be hard on the call.
The result going to have a big say, obviously, in who gets that. Haig probably leading the charge if the Cobras get over the line. Take your pick if the Blues pull off the comeback. Harvey found Stewart, who found Van der Vorm, who kicked it across to Gosson. Pull up 3, liked it out of the hand. It was long, didn't hit the ring. Shot clock violation.
That right at the end, the defense there from Kangai. So, I mean, it was a good defensive possession as a team. But Gosson tried the shot fake, and not falling for it was Kangai, so despite the late shot clock. Great closeout.
Great pressure. Here's Kangaiser for 3. No dice.
I don't know if we would have had a roof after that. Those Frankston fans would have gone absolutely bananas.
Blake Jackson surely is going to have to walk up to the score bench soon.
He's standing.
He's eager. Kilsyth, they need a basket. Something to steady the ship. Macaulay Haig's been the man all night. Couldn't be the man there. Nugent just had to steady. And it is going to be a foul.
It's
going against Van der Vorm. There did look to be a bit of a contact on the arm, but they are really letting them play.
That is the 4th team foul for the Cobras as well. Now, when you're up, you're not necessarily wanting to give up those free throws at the end, but they're going to be giving them up on every non-offensive foul from here.
And with 5 minutes to play, that is going to be massive down the stretch. So,
well, it changes the whole way you defend, doesn't it?
It certainly does, especially on the ball handlers. They've been up and in. Kangaiser, there was a hook there. No score. Always likely. Off arm, just pushed off. He knew it as well.
Very rarely there's a clear offensive foul, but no one really arced up about that one, including Lockie Kangaiser, to his credit. He's on 3 now. Not urgent, but just one to keep in mind.
Jackson on 3 as well.
On the bench, though.
He's standing up. He's really trying to urge Coach Berg to get him into the game.
Getting to the peripherals.
He is antsy, I think is the best way to describe it. Van der Vorm found his captain, Harvey. Good rebound, Haig. Offensive rebounding been crucial down the stretch here for Kilsyth, especially as the shots aren't dropping. Got to get a look up. Stewart, floater, doesn't go. Kangaiser, ball loose. Haig again. Got Kangaiser in the air. Brilliant play, Macaulay Haig.
In the hands of Wyatt Stewart. He went up for the floater. He had to swap hands mid-air, which would have been miraculous. Knowing it missed, though, got the hands up, disrupted the rebound, and eventually got the ball to Haig for his 2.
Kangaiser, bit of contact, couldn't finish. Beattie hustled, stepped out of bounds. The Kilsyth bench were on it.
Assisting the referee with his call there.
And finally, we do see Blake Jackson come back out onto the floor. He's had a big rest.
26 minutes in a grand final. The star players are usually playing north of 32, 35 minutes. So to come in having only played the 26 could be a factor. He could be nice and fresh for this last run.
And Jesse Lands is about to check back in as well. Another twist in the tail, perhaps. They forgot about Gosson. Could have shot the 3, went to the basket. It didn't go. It's been that kind of night for him.
I feel like he's passed up 2 or 3 open triples.
Great find. Nugent found Beattie. My goodness.
That is enormous. Nick Beattie, 5 3-pointers on the night. And he's not done yet. 2-point game.
3.5 minutes to play. Grandstand finish in store. Van der Vorm, too big. The weak side defense from Jackson was elite. He beat everyone up the floor and was fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot a pair. He's pumped up about it as well.
This is a chance for him to tie the game after trailing by 15 in the third quarter. This is enormous. Jesse Lands back in. He's given Nick Beattie a chop out, but I don't think that's the last we'll see of Nicholas Beattie.
Interesting decision. The man who's just hit a huge three, he's been the only one who's been able to get going from deep, and they've taken him out of the game.
5 of 8 from downtown, Nick Beattie. You've got to assume that's just a quick drink and a blow, and he'll be back on there in no time, surely.
Blake Jackson getting some help from Kilsyth fans behind the rim. Buries the first.
They're going to need bigger pool noodles down there. Chance to tie.
Doesn't go. Kilsyth hold on by the finest of margins. Van der Vorm.
He's got Nugent, who's got 4 fouls ahead of him.
A good job of playing with these 4. 3 ball. Massive hit from Isaiah Harvey.
Jeez, that was, I wouldn't say a broken play, but plans A, B, and C were out the window, but suddenly Harvey is open on an island with a 4 foul-ridden defender in front of him in Zaid Nugent, so he just let one rip in it. He's got a huge 3 for his club.
Timeout, Frankston. 2:47 to play in this game. Kilsyth now go back up by 4 points, so it puts it to a 2-possession ball game. The Blues, they lead the quarter 18-13. Isaiah Harvey up to 13 points. He's only played the 20 minutes. But what a big hit. And time and time again, the Cobras have just found the right baskets and the right moment.
I usually wait until the Blues are nipping on their heels with, 4-point, 5-point kind of gap. This time they've left it down to a 1-point game, which is an extremely dangerous game to play, but especially in a grand final.
Plenty to talk about in the huddles. The crowd on the edge of their seat. I don't think there's a fingernail left. And we're just keeping an eye down low on Nick Beattie.
He's got the roller out.
He's rolling out that hip, so something to keep an eye on. Been so crucial for Frankston. 17 points, 5 of 8 from deep. He's hit 5 of their 7 triples.
It's a leg he's got a lot of strapping on too. So hopefully just, gets a little cool, it gets a little stiff, so he just wants to stay limber, hopefully.
He's got the gun on it as well, the massage gun.
Oh, that's what
I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's kind of hiding it from us now, isn't he? Yeah, he does. Well spotted.
So Frankston now need to come again. Cobras keep their noses in front. Into a zone, it's worked for them. Baseline ball, Jackson blocked at the rim by Macaulay Haig, and he had plenty to tell him about it as well.
They were gone for all money. That Cobra zone just left an enormous hole in it. They got the possession as well. I didn't even see that. I don't know if there was a fingertip on the way out or something.
Blake Jackson said, come meet me upstairs, and Macaulay Haig did exactly that.
Right at the summit.
My goodness, is that a moment? Almost a walk. Haig might have carried. Jackson picked his pocket, got some revenge. Downhill Hastings, offhand, what a finish.
Bucket. That is a very tough bucket from Corey Hastings, leading from the front there. 3 of 13 from the field beforehand, but he backed himself the whole way.
He's played almost every minute for Frankston. Lead back to 2. Cobras have had all the answers. Can they answer again? Good hands from Hastings. He's got 9 rebounds and 7 assists as well.
He's done everything.
Resting on his haunches. It's been a big game for him. Has to guard Harvey as well. Stewart, 3 ball. In and out. And Frankston can tie or take the lead. We've got 2 minutes to play.
Zaid Nugent had an absolute half court to himself there, but they didn't quite pick him in time.
Jackson thought about the big 3. Great hands, Van der Vorm. Ball loose. Jackson fights. Jackson gathers. Jump ball. Kilsyth basketball.
Sam Trezise in there. He's got about as big as arms as you're going to see from someone of his age. It's certainly got his work cut out for him with Blake Jackson having to go up against him.
So back into the game comes Beattie. Jesse Lands heads to the bench.
1:46 left. Cobras by 2.
And everyone just gets a chance to take a big deep breath as the floor wipers come up and just fix a patch of sweat in the key.
I don't think that's the last we've seen of them either.
It has been chaos here in Kilsyth.
Has it ever?
Cobras, chance to push it back to a 2-possession game.
Stewart caught by Jackson.
Good read, Nugent playing with 4 fouls. Picked the pocket, drew the contact. Will go to the line to shoot a pair. Zaid Nugent has played with 4 fouls for the majority of this fourth quarter. His hustle has been through the roof. He is a 50% free throw shooter on the year.
Common foul called. I think they discussed the potential for an unsportsmanlike because Lockie Vandervorm was having to go from behind the whole time.
I think Nugent maybe instigating the contact was the giveaway, and tell you what, doesn't look like a 50% shooter to me, Aaron.
That was sweet, wasn't it?
My goodness. Looks for his teammates to give him some love as well. To tie the ball game. Perfect from the line.
No hesitation whatsoever.
We are all locked up, 90 seconds to play.
Frankston have come from 15 down in the third quarter.
The Big V at its very best. Stagnant offensive possession. Big triple. It did everything but drop.
That hit the rim 8 times.
It was in and then it was out.
At no point did the Cobras get inside their 3-point arc. The Frankston defense is just intense.
Kengisa, and for the first time since the first quarter, Frankston have the lead. Can you believe it? Kengisa, a little sore. He's going to be okay, I think. Runs off, timeout. And for the first time since the first quarter, Frankston have the lead in this game. They have led only 5 minutes of the contest, all of that in the first period. And now they lead by 2 and the Cobras find themselves in an unfamiliar position.
Having to play from behind, something they haven't done a lot this season, let alone this game. And suddenly now they're having to fight back somehow.
Lockie Kengisa had such a slow first half, but he has come alive here in the second. And that was an explosive finish. I was concerned when he hit the ground. It looked nasty.
He got so high up and he wasn't balanced.
And he went clutching his leg as soon as he hit the ground. But he popped back up and managed to run to the bench. We'll keep an eye on to see if he comes out of this timeout. If you Kilsyth, Aaron, who are you giving the ball to?
Oh, look, I think a lot of the offense, when it was working, was going through Lockie Vandervorm. It's been a rough night for Isaac Goss, and only the 5 points. He's 2 of 10 from the field. But the old firm of Isaiah Harvey and Lockie Vandervorm, I'd be looking for a 2-man game between them here, but you never know. Macaulay Haig is the game-leading scorer, so we can't rule him out by any stretch.
Kengisa on the floor, Kilsyth. Can they vanquish the demons of the last few years and find a way to get back in front?
They'll advance the ball, so a 14-shot clock. Thomas Coach Malt eventually gets out of the way. Too busy high-fiving the mini-ref down there.
When the crowd wants to show you some love, you've got to let them, Aaron.
Absolutely. Can't leave them hanging.
So Kilsyth playing from behind for the first time since the first quarter. What will they do in response? Vandervorm, great offensive set. Good play, Nugent. Kick to the corner. Stewart hesitates, pulls up. Big defensive play from Frankston. Time now on their side. Good double team.
Juicy did well to get out of that, did Blake Jackson.
Nugent just rushes and turns the ball over. 14-second differential between game clock and shot clock.
Is that last 30 seconds flew, did it not?
Harvey. Macaulay Agie's been the man all night for the Cobras. Good hands, Jackson just breaks up the play. Clock has kept running. There is absolute chaos here.
Oh, my goodness. It says 20.3. I reckon there'll be another 2 or 3 seconds added to that. 8 on the shot clock, though. That did stop on time.
And Guys is cramping up. He's stretching his calves.
Sure enough, Ryan Lane looking to check in. Maybe a defensive move here. He comes in for Kangaisa.
So they want to let him rest on defense.
Coach Berg's just sent him straight to the sub seats too. He hasn't even bothered with the bench.
So good spot. 22.9 on the game clock. 8 on the shot clock. Big contact off the ball. Down by 2, Kilsyth. Haig. Step back 3, Macaulay Haig. Butter!
Oh, Macaulay Haig! The crowd goes bananas!
He's been the man all night, Macaulay Haig. And he steps up one last time. Puts them up by a point with 15 and a half seconds left on the clock. An interest decision now here to come for the Blues, Aaron. If they advance, the shot clock goes down to 14, although a second and a half, you're probably comfortable.
I know, you ever play 21 with the cards and you get 16, you get 15, you're like, I don't quite know the best way to do this now.
And so now the shoe goes on the other foot, Aaron. Who are you looking to get the ball to if you're the Blues?
Lockie Kangaisa has just had a spell on the bench. It only lasted 30 seconds, but with the timeout, that's a 2.5 minute rest. He's coming on fresh as long as he's not cramping up. But he's been the man in this fourth quarter. Do you look to him, or is he the decoy? Do you bring Nick Beattie back on, who kept them alive in the third? He's, 5 of 8 from downtown. He's 6 of 9 on the night. This is the thing. We've got 2 deep teams. It could be anyone, but geez, I would be surprised if the ball doesn't touch Lockie Kangaisa's hands here.
The stage is set for one of these young superstars to stand up and be the hero. The victorious Kilsyth Cobras Youth Championship women, the loudest people in the building. So the Cobras come out. Stewart, Harvey, Haig, Gosson and Vandervorm.
That is not a big lineup. That is a left the centers on the bench.
And for the Blues, it's Jackson, it's Nugent, it is Beattie, it's Hastings, and it's Kangaisa. They do not advance the ball. The shot clock will be dead. There's going to be some up-court pressure. The Cobras do not want to foul. It will send Frankston to the line. Here we go.
Hastings.
Here is Beattie and Hastings. Screen's going to come from Nugent.
6
Hastings
seconds.
one out. Flips it up. Can he be the hero? Jackson, big rebound. Finds Kangaisa for 3. And Kilsyth are champions of the Victorian Youth Championship for 2025. Listen to this crowd.
We were right behind that Lockie Kangaisa 3, and that looks straight.
Incredible scenes here at the Kilsyth Sports Centre. The Demons have been well and truly vanquished. They got a scare late, but the Cobras, on their 3rd attempt, are champions of this VYC division.
That is huge for this club. Obviously, as you said, the women were loud down there. They're waiting to cut down a net of their own, but for this club to be able to say that they are Youth League championships in the men and the women, that is enormous. But that takes away nothing from the Frankston Blues, who have come to fight. They did everything up until the last possession, and for a program on the up, this is absolutely huge to make a grand final. It's a heartbreak, but it is testament to that fight that they showed right up until the last possession.
They were down by 15 points, as much as 15. They led for just 5 minutes of the game. Lockie Kangaisa had the opportunity. It was a good look. He'd been fantastic in the last quarter. And not to take away from his fantastic game, the teams now shake hands. Aaron, my goodness, what an absolute treat. What a night of basketball. Fantastic on both ends. Fantastic from both teams. And there are 4 hours well spent if you manage to watch both contests.
Look, I feel sorry. If you own a coffee shop in Kilsyth, half of your customers tomorrow are not going to be able to use their voice to order. They are going to be shot. They're going to be pointing at the menu and saying yes with their heads, because this has been one of the real loudest moments, I think, in this stadium's storied history. 2 very close games where the crowd has been needed to get their team over the line.
So we go through some of the numbers. It was Frankston who stormed home late. They won the last quarter by 8 points. It just wasn't enough. Macaulay Haig, he's probably the man to take the MVP. He had 26 points, 7 rebounds, 4 of them offensive, 5 of 10 from deep. What a day he had. Harvey was good, the skipper, with 13, Van der Vorm 11, and Stewart off the bench with 10. For Frankston, Ken Geiser had 17, 4 rebounds. Blake Jackson, a big double-double, 15 and 10, including getting them that second look on the last possession. And Beattie, 17 points, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, 5 of 8 from deep. Some valiant efforts on both sides of the game, but it is the Cobras who walk away champions.
Enormous for this club, as mentioned. Enormous for Frankston to make it this far. We have not seen anywhere near the last of that squad. I'd be very keen to see what they can come up with next season, because they fought all the way to the end of this one. They deserve to be in at the end, because they are a very quality outfit.
2023 heartbreak, 2024 heartbreak, and 2025 they make up for it in emphatic fashion.
Enormous stuff as the Cobras get into their huddle. We'll have the presentations up shortly. But, I mean, there's no better feeling than that, is there? Being able to come away with one. There's got to be a huge sense of relief. But, geez, they've done their club proud. 21-1 throughout the season. Again, hiccup at the qualifying final and almost a hiccup at the end.
They were the best team all season, and they have rightfully ended on top. You can see both teams together. The double fantastic. As Aaron pointed out, the presentation coming your way. We won't talk over the top of that. The players deserve their moments. Quickly, your MVP before we sign off, Aaron.
I mean, not that it came down to the very last offensive possession for the Cobras, but I think it's got to be Macaulay Haig. As you said, game-leading scorer. He shot efficiently. He rebounded well. 2 blocks on top of that. That goes to the fact that he defended well too. For me, it's got to be Macaulay Haig. And
he was the one who had the final say, the final basket of the game, which won them the contest. A phenomenal night of hoops here at the Kilsyth Sports Centre. Thank you to everyone behind the scenes. Thank you to Aaron Tate for a phenomenal call, a big night. What we're going to do is we're going to shut up, basically, so these players can enjoy their moment. There'll be the cutting down of the nets, so stick around to see that. Stick around to see who's won the MVP. But from us here, we're signing off. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, but enjoy these moments for the Kilsyth Cobras.
Thanks, Matt Hickey. Thanks for that. Great night, everybody. We'll catch you again soon.